You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, a 10-year-old from Joplin had an incredible opportunity to attend last night's Grammy Awards. We're going to share his special journey.
Also, Crawford County Democrats organized a protest in light of President Trump's recent executive actions and stances on mass deportation.
And we've got a mild and beautiful start to the day out there. It is going to be another very warm one and a bit on the breezy side. A look at that forecast, get you out the doors coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Elise Snowy.
I'm Chris Warner. It's just after 7 o'clock on this Monday, February the 3rd.
Yes,
not March 3rd, not April 3rd, even though it certainly feels like it. It really still is only February across the area.
Hard to believe.
It's very, very warm out there, and we'll talk more about all of that warm stuff here in a minute. And there's a special young man in Joplin. I'm sure his heart is very warm this morning.
Absolutely. Well, a young man in Joplin, like Chris said, found himself in Los Angeles over the weekend for this year's Grammys. Now, he wasn't there to watch the award show. In fact, he was there as a nominee.
KOAM's Anthony Saviello spoke with him and his mother about their excitement surrounding his nomination.
A wet, murky, gloomy day, but there's a smile shining through it all.
This is real, I can't believe it.
That smile belongs to Tristan Wilder Hallett, a 10-year-old from Joplin.
Yes. The steam engine.
Just like any other 10-year-old boy, he's got a room full of Legos and toys. But in the adjacent room, there's something else on display.
So it was a competition where they announced the words online. And when we found out we got this, they sent all of the words to the studio. And when I saw that I got this, I'm like, wait, how did I get this again? Oh, yeah. The duet. The duet. Me and my partner.
However, these awards may soon have to make room for one more.
My mom was in the office, and she said, Tristan, you have a Grammy. And I'm like, what is a Grammy? And I'm like, wait, is it? What?
I went up and watched the live announcement and did scream very, very, very loud. And the cutest part was he said, I already have a Grammy, because that's what he calls my mom, Grammy. So now he has a Grammy nomination and a Grammy at home.
Tristan's Grammy nomination comes from being a part of the original recording of The Shining Opera.
I was 8 years old at the time, and it was just so much fun getting to meet everybody there. And it was just an amazing experience.
It's just one of the long list of projects that Tristan finds himself a part of.
Stay smiling. Also, I'm excited to see Don't Move in theaters. And then another film, a major motion that I did was My Heart Remembers.
But there is one famous franchise Tristan has his eyes on.
I also want to be in a Star Wars film.
He's a man of many talents, but his mother puts it best.
I would describe him as a young Renaissance man. He is capable of being an engineer, being an actor, appreciating poetry, classical music, playing baseball, and, being a normal kid and building.
If you don't believe her, well, he's got the Legos to prove it.
Yes, I like to build with Lego a lot.
In Joplin, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
To find out more about his story, just visit our website, KOAMnewsnow.com.
Certainly incredible. I don't think I've been nominated for any Grammys ever in my life.
Being 10 years old, being that accomplished.
That's awesome.
Wow.
That
incredible.
Is incredible indeed. And it's it's more incredible than our forecast, but our forecast is almost as incredible as that young man, because it is February the 3rd, as we mentioned earlier, and it is going to feel like April the 3rd for another spring-like day. Let's take a look outside, how pretty it looks. See, there it is. Look how pretty it is. We've got some clouds. We've got some sun rising. It looks nice, and that's not too bad. It's our camera in downtown Pittsburgh. Looks even, I do not know what it is about our camera at 7th and Range. I don't know if it's the position, its angle, it's radiation from a cell phone tower. I don't know what it is, okay? But it always just seems to capture the sunrises in just phenomenal color. compared to any other camera across the region that I've seen. It always just looks beautiful, and it looks great right now. MoDOT camera, 20th in range line. Sun's getting a little bright, and that's what I mean. Like, this is a traffic camera. It's not, something for incredible photography, so the sunrise already washed out. But still, it just looks great. And look, KDOT camera, south of Pittsburgh on 69, looking now back to the south and west. Also looking pretty good this morning as well. Taking a look at the future track. We got those wind arrows, and they are just whooshing on by because it's going to be breezy. We'll have south winds gusting upwards of 25 miles at a time. Then we have a boundary pushing through later today through the afternoon. Winds will shift out of the northwest, still gusty, but thankfully behind this boundary, while we will be colder, our temperatures will not plummet behind it. It will still technically be above normal. 58 in Joplin right now, 51 in Pittsburgh. Temperatures across the region. We still have some 40s off to the west, but the majority of us low, mid, and upper 50s as we get this day started. And it's going to be, again, another very warm one. Upper 60s, low 70s, clear skies through today. Now, clouds will increase overnight. Temperatures will decrease a bit, and our rain chances increase. We'll go over those details with you in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, 25 years ago, two 16-year-old girls went missing from Welch, Oklahoma. That's a cold case that's outlived two of the three suspects and is now making waves in the Oklahoma legislature. Now, this week, for a second time, Representative Steve Bayshore is attempting to pass Laura and Ashley's law. House Bill 1001 would require individuals convicted of accessory to murder to serve at least 85% of their sentence. The legislation addresses the reduced prison sentence of Ronnie Busick, who in 2020 was sentenced to 10 years in prison, but because of good behavior and time credited while in county jail, Busick was released after just 3 years in prison. Back into the area where he committed his crimes and where family members of the victims still live.
Lorraine has made it very clear. We know this law won't bring back the girls, but Lorraine wants to make it very evident and make it very clear that she does not want this to happen to another family to ever experience what she's going through right now.
Laura Bible's mother, Lorraine, has been a part of the investigation since day one, and she still hopes to one day find the bodies of both her daughter and Ashley Freeman. Tonight on KOAM News at 10, Tanya Bach investigates Lorraine Bible's tragic connection to the Freeman family. Plus, we reveal the evidence that finally brought this cold case to the courtroom. Crawford County Democrats organized a protest yesterday in relation to President Donald Trump's plans for mass deportation. Demonstrators came by the hundreds to exercise their right to protest. KOAM's Mitch Adams has more.
Energizing, invigorating, hopeful, optimistic are the words that just immediately come to mind. As you can hear, as you can see.
Recent actions by President Donald Trump regarding immigration policy have sparked unrest and protests all over the country. Pittsburgh, Kansas is no exception. Organized by the Crawford County Democrats, a protest began at the intersection of 4th Street and Broadway.
So Wednesday we organized. It was super ad hoc, impromptu get-together to happen Wednesday night, and there was a massive show of support. Over 200 people came and chanted. We talked about the kind of changes that we'd like to see in our society, and really just getting together and showing solidarity for the immigrant population here in Pittsburgh.
Protesters started marching down Broadway, chanting and shouting their beliefs to passing cars and pedestrians. Soon after, counter-protesters began to drive by and claim a spot across the street. One counter-protester, vice president of the Pittsburgh State College Republicans, explained why they showed up to make their voices heard as well.
These kind of protests, I just believe, are fighting against our system that we have in place here. We have always been accepting of immigrants. We've always been wanting people to come into the country the legal way. And when you have people protesting the idea that you can come in here illegally and take American jobs in manufacturing and agriculture, I just don't think that's fair to citizens, whether they're immigrants or not, born in the United States. Doesn't matter.
Police were on scene to make sure things stayed under control. And although there were moments of tension, there were no outbreaks of violence. In Pittsburgh, Kansas, Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
Now, to find out more about yesterday's protest, you can visit our website, KOAMNewsNow.com. And those are our top news stories this half hour. Coming up next, Lori is back in the studio showing us her recipe for puppy chow bars. We're back with Lori Horton, who's been showing us a recipe for some puppy chow bars. Now, it smells so good. What do we have to do for the next step?
Next up, so I've got everything melted now. We started out with 2 separate pans.
Right.
This is my chocolate and peanut butter, creamy peanut butter, just chocolate chips, whatever's your
so
favorite.
good.
I know. And then this is just a stick of butter and a whole bag of mini marshmallows. And you can use the regular size, but the mini ones just melt a little faster. Yeah, it makes life a little bit easier. We're gonna start with our chocolate peanut butter mixture, and I've got about 6 cups of cereal in here. You can put together whatever you want. I actually started with some leftover mixture of all the Chex cereals that I had from making some Chex Party Mix.
Yeah.
Threw in some Rice Krispies too. It's whatever you guys love. This one is really nice because you can kind of use up some little bits and pieces of whatever's in the cabinet. I'm just gonna pour that whole melted chocolate and peanut butter mixture in there. And it was just about a cup of chocolate chips and a half a cup of the creamy peanut butter. So you can do that in the microwave. It melts really quickly. Just watch your temperature and don't overheat it. You don't want to scorch it. So we'll make a little noise here. Toss this together. We want to get a little bit of that chocolate all around on our cereal. And it's not an exact science. If you get a clump of chocolate somewhere, nobody's going to be real mad at that. So, but just kind of get it mixed around in there so you've got a little bit all through. And then once that has started to kind of clump together, what we're doing is breaking it up. And instead of putting this out onto a cookie sheet and trying to keep it from making a huge mess, I just put it in a bigger bowl. So if you've got, you know, that one really big bowl that we all have in the cabinet, time to pull that one out. Then I'm gonna take my marshmallow and butter mixture, and that's nice and warm and really easy to pour. We're just gonna put that right on top. So this is where we deviate from our traditional puppy chow a little bit, and we're gonna kind of hybrid in those Rice Krispie treats, because this is gonna make it where we can make a nice bar, cut it up into those little squares, and make it a little bit easier to serve. So this is a little more important that we get this really well mixed together. That chocolate and marshmallow is going to combine a little bit, and that's fine. We just want to be sure that the cereal has something all over all of it so that it kind of comes together into that really gooey, sticky mess that we're going to put into our pan. And once I've got this really combined, and you can see it's really got a gooiness to it. That's that marshmallow, right? It looks a lot like Rice Krispie treats. I'm going to take my 8x8 pan. We prepared that with parchment paper and baking spray, so we really want to make sure it's going to come out easy for us. And this looks like a lot, but it's going to tamp down in there really easily. And I'm going to pour it in there, but then I'll come back with my hands and actually kind of smush it down a little bit more. Make it really nice. And then when we come back, we'll add those final touches that really make it the puppy chow mixture.
All right, sounds like a plan. Stick around, we'll be right back. Lori Horton has been showing us her recipe for puppy chow bars this morning, and it already looks so good. What are the final steps?
The final steps are pretty simple. So we got this entire mixture really tamped down into our pan, gave it a really good press. You're going to crunch that cereal just a little bit. That's the point. And then just let this set. It doesn't really need to go into the refrigerator. It's going to set up well at room temperature. There's chocolate chips and everything. But if you're in a hurry, throw it in there for a few minutes. It'll set up pretty fast. So now I've got one here that is nice and set. So you'll see with those parchment paper pieces that we took the time, totally worth it, to prepare ahead of time, that makes it so easy to get out of our nice square pan. But if you guys have made puppy chow, or maybe you've bought those little bags of it at the convenience store, you know it always has that little layer of powdered sugar that sets it off. So we're going to take and do a little bit on top. Just put this in our little sifter here so we get a nice even layer. And it is much easier to do this before you cut it, obviously. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to cut this into small squares. The nice part is this is kind of obviously pretty rich, So
Right.
we want to do small pieces.
Yeah, perfect
and
for the Super Bowl, perfect for sharing.
so perfect for that because you're going to have all of those super duper salty snacks, all of those really heavy duty ones. This is going to be a little something to break it up a little bit, but it also makes a really nice little package. You can put a bag of these together for a little maybe Valentine gift.
Oh,
You have somebody
yes.
coming up, you know, 'tis the season for that now. But it's a nice thick piece, so you'll see your cereal on the side there. You get a really good layering, that little bit of powdered sugar on top. But it's so pretty. So what I did was actually just some extra little simple bowls. And I had a great tip that I read online, one of the few things from the internet I think
Right.
was useful, that when you're going to someone's house, don't use the tacky sort of disposable aluminum ware.
yeah.
It's okay, but you know, you never want to take a chance of not getting your good pieces back. So you go to the thrift store, you go down to the Salvation Army store, and you get a very inexpensive, nice glass dish, and you make that part of your gift, your little, you know, thank you for inviting me over, and
Right,
you,
of course.
you leave the leftovers there. So I thought that was a really great idea for being able to just not worry about your dish, whether it gets broken or anything
absolutely.
else, and make it kind of more of like a housewarming thing. So I thought that was a really good suggestion, and this just works out so perfectly because one batch goes a really long way.
Yeah, it's already filled
It's
up.
already
the
filled
bowl,
up
and
on
you're
my
like,
little bowl.
it's still
The
not
nice
even
part
halfway.
too, very inexpensive to make, no eggs.
Right.
So that
Yes,
helps a lot.
exactly.
No bake, we don't have to heat up the oven. The kids can get involved in this because it's so simple. As I mentioned before, you can do this in the microwave. You don't have to melt these on the stovetop.
Oh, sure.
Just watch your temperatures because you don't want to scorch the chocolate chips or the marshmallows. Other than that, you're good to go.
Well, fantastic. What a fun Super Bowl, a sweet
Really.
treat. Thanks so much, Lori, for being with us this
Thank
morning.
you.
Stick around, and Chris will be back with a full look at your forecast right after this.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is 7:24 on this Monday morning. Quick look outside. Our camera in downtown Pittsburgh looking great. Again, a few clouds out there as the sun rises, and we're pretty mild in most locations. Also, not a bad start to the day from MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline in Joplin. So let's talk about this afternoon. We're going to have southerly winds gusting upwards of 25 miles an hour. Then we have a boundary coming through, push through this afternoon, and the winds will begin to shift out of the northwest. They'll still be gusting to about 25. They'll just change direction. Now, the good news is, behind this boundary, yes, cooler air is on the way, but our temperatures do not plummet. I know that happens sometimes in the winter here or very early spring where we've got the nice weather, that cold front comes through and the temperatures drop like 40 or 50 degrees in a couple of hours. Not going to be the case with this, but it is going to be colder overnight tonight into our Tuesday as clouds increase after midnight. So we have those northwest winds behind this boundary. Overnight, they switch out of the northeast, and by tomorrow afternoon, they'll be out of the east and still gusty overnight tonight and into Tuesday. You see, we're a little colder to start, upper 30s, low 40s to start our Tuesday. We'll have some isolated to widely scattered showers throughout the day on Tuesday, and we'll be cooler, but still above normal. Just not by a lot for many of us as we go into the 40s and 50s for our Tuesday. Then overnight into Wednesday, rain chances increase a bit. We'll have more scattered showers across the region, so it's not rain everywhere all at once, but we'll be getting a few more of those showers out there. But Wednesday afternoon, take a look. The winds shift out of the south. And so you know what that means? It means warm air is on the way. So by Wednesday, we're going back above normal, and for some of us, well above normal. And even at 1 o'clock Thursday morning, look at some of these temperatures. We've got some 50s and 60s out there, 1 a.m. And then it's going to get chilly again. It's going to be kind of a wild ride for some of us. 58 in Joplin right now, though. South breeze at 16. Just another great shot of that sunrise this morning. Temperatures around the region. Sedan's kind of been the cool spot all morning long, and they're still sitting at 41. Everybody else, though, for the most part, into the 50s. We do have some 40s. We even have a 60 in Grove, but most of us hanging out in the 50s this morning. About the mid-50s is where we're going to start the day. Sunny skies, sunny by late morning, and right around the mid-60s. Ahead of our highs today, upper 60s, low 70s. Beautiful day, just a bit on the breezy side. Through the evening, skies are clear through the evening, temperatures falling slowly. Then eventually we'll make it down to about 40 with mostly cloudy skies tonight. We continue to be windy. Now, here comes our wild ride of temperatures. Low to mid 50s tomorrow. Upper 60s Wednesday, maybe a little cooler on Thursday, warming back up Friday and Saturday. Then we cool with more rain chances, by the way. Then by Sunday, we're back down to about normal, and then temperatures continue to sink. And this is why we want to keep an eye on this. We do have some snow chances next week, around Tuesday and Wednesday. We're still very far away. There's a lot of variables in play out there, but we are looking at snow, potentially accumulating snow out there. But again, we're way too far out to even begin to hypothesize or theorize about snow totals. However, I will also say this, it is still a long ways down the road. This looks to be the first of possibly 2 or 3 snow events this month starting next week. So it's something we definitely want to keep an eye on. But between here and there, enjoy these spring-like temperatures over the next few days. Let's check your forecast. We're back with more right after this.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:30, just coming up on 7:31. I'm Elise Snowy. The past 7 months have been just a wild ride for former Pitt State defensive coordinator Nate Drelling. Now, on July 2nd of 2024, Drelling was named the interim head coach for Utah State after the firing of head coach Blake Anderson. Then in January, he was named the defensive coordinator at Arkansas State. And now he will join Brent Venables' staff at the University of Oklahoma, where he will serve as the Sooners' inside linebackers coach. Drelling has been coaching for the past 10 years, including 2 years as the Pitt State defensive coordinator. Well, February is Black History Month, and the Joplin Public Library hosted its Black History Fair. Now, this year's guest presenter was Kenya Ajanku, a storyteller and drummer who specializes in the folklore of Africa. The library also set up tables with reading recommendations, and booths were set up for the Joplin NAACP, George Washington Carver National Monument, Easttown Dreams District, and more.
I think it would be good for the local people to understand that Black history is history. It doesn't necessarily have to be separated from history, because we are ingrained in the history of America also. And so it's just good for people to know that what you've been taught sometimes is not the only thing that's the truth.
This marks the 5th time that the Joplin Public Library has held a Black History Fair. And the McCune Farm to Market and Flora Farms Produce partnered up to host an artisan bread making class. 9 community members attended the class, learning how to make dough and create their unique loaves of bread from one single versatile sourdough recipe.
I had in my mind to start teaching some of the things that it's pretty much our lifestyle. And now they call it homesteading. I think in the last few years that's a newer term, but that's pretty much how my husband and I have lived for years, making a lot of things from scratch, and so I like to share it. I'm not going to talk till you're done.
Artisan bread is homemade bread made in small batches. Now let's head over to Chris for a quick look at your forecast.
Start to the day out there. Take a look at our camera downtown Pittsburgh. Got a few clouds. Those clouds will eventually go away, and then we will have no clouds, and it will be sunny, and it will be very April-like across the region. Our camera, 7th and Rangeline, looking great as well, and we'll head over to the MoDOT camera, 20th and Rangeline, looking back to the east once again. Just a great shot this morning. Great look at the skies and the roads as folks get their day underway. And the KDOT camera, 69 East 520th Avenue, just south of Pittsburgh. They've turned it around since the last time I was here. Now looking back to the south and west, but regardless of which way it's looking, it's sunny, it's nice, it's a great day. We're going to have gusty south winds out there pushing about 25 miles an hour. We've already seen them gusting this morning. They'll continue to do so. But as we head through the afternoon, a boundary will push through. It's going to bring in some cooler air tonight. It will also cause those winds to shift out of the northwest as we go later into the evening hours. But as you can see, thankfully our temperatures do not plummet back behind this boundary, but it will be colder tonight than where we have been the last few nights. 58 in Joplin right now, 51 in Pittsburgh, and temperatures across the region. Sedan again, the cold spot, but it's been that way all morning long, sitting at 41. We do have some 40s, Yates Center, Iola, for example, but the majority of us have been spending the morning in the 50s. Grove back up to about 60 windy out there this morning. So a very mild start to the day, ahead of highs into the upper 60s, low 70s, and again, we'll have those clear skies through the rest of the afternoon into the evening. Now, clouds will increase overnight tonight, and our rain chances increase tomorrow, while our temperatures will decrease. We'll go over those details with you here in just a few more minutes. Lise?
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, people filled Neosho Junior High School to attend ArtCon, a convention for fans of comics, science fiction, video games, and much more. KOAM's Mitch Adams has the details.
Cosplaying, this is new to me. I've never thought it was this fun, but until I started doing it.
ArtCon in Neosho draws passionate fans together to share their interests with one another. Whether it be gamers, movie lovers, or superheroes, convention has a little something for everybody. Some even doing their best to bring their favorite characters to life.
It feels really good because you can see other people's cosplays and talk about it with other people and they understand, and it gives you ideas of how you can make your stuff better. Whenever I come here, I look at other people's costumes and go, how do I make my stuff better? How can I get better as somebody who builds costumes so I can make it into a career?
Conventions like ArtCon are a way to meet new friends, and what better friends than ones that love the same things as you do?
I've made a lot of friends at all of the cons that I've been to, and I really, really enjoy that, and I wish I could have more of that in my daily life. So this is really, really nice to be able to come out here and be with people who have similar interests.
When it comes to cosplay, Hollingshed describes immersing yourself in that world.
If you want to build a costume, freaking build it. You can build it out of anything, cardboard. I made a bunch of stuff out of cardboard, foam, fur, whatever. It's just do whatever you want. Just have fun.
In Neosho, Missouri, Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
Well, vendors were on site selling items like comic books and crochet art, and food trucks were parked in front of the junior high school. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. One organization is traveling across the country to capture the stories of veterans before they are lost. And Consumer Watch this morning. Well, before you file your 2024 taxes, be sure you have everything. The official tax season got underway last week, and the Taxpayer Advocate Service of the IRS says don't file so fast that you forget key documents. Make sure you have documents like W-2s, various 1099s, and that report interest or dividend, or even special platform income like Cash App, PayPal, or Venmo. And don't forget rental income, prize awards, or royalties you received, or 1098s that report mortgage interest or student loan interest paid. Well, some real estate investors say rising home prices and interest rates are keeping an entire generation from owning a home. Financial experts estimate an average potential home buyer can afford a house that costs around $111,000. But the average home price in the country is more than $420,000. Experts say the number of houses young families can afford has sunk from 50% to just 15% in the last decade. And as the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles prep for football's biggest night of the year, hordes of shoppers are also getting their lineup of snacks ready for Sunday's game. Now, from chicken wings to pizza and beyond, folks are hoping for action on the TV and on their plates. Fox News correspondent Janley Painter takes a closer look at how much it may cost you to host hungry fans this year, and if any favorites may be in short supply.
With the countdown to Super Bowl 59 ticking away, sports fans are busy stocking up on all their game day favorites.
So what's on the menu?
Oh, chips, salsa.
And while plates will be stacked with snacks, the mighty chicken wing may reign supreme. The National Chicken Council estimates Americans will eat a staggering 1.47 billion of them on February 9th. But as bouts of bird flu have been impacting populations of egg-laying chickens, livestock experts say the virus hasn't found the supply of wings heading for ovens, grills, and fryers.
We're actually producing more chicken now than we were a year ago at this time.
Meanwhile, when it comes to the cost of throwing a Super Bowl party, economists with Wells Fargo Agri-Food Institute say the average gathering will only increase about 10 cents from last year. Foods giving you more bang for your buck may include dippable veggies like celery and broccoli. Potato chips and frozen pizzas and shrimp have also seen price decreases. This according to data from Nielsen IQ, which tracks food products scanned at stores nationwide. But if you're looking for guacamole, fresh avocados have skyrocketed by almost 12% compared to last year. Adult beverages like beer and wine have also gone up by about 2%. The Wells Fargo data estimates a Super Bowl party menu for 10 people will likely set you back around $139. I'm Chanley Painter, Fox News.
Those are our top consumer stories. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is 7:44 now on this Monday morning. We're going to start with the Future Track into this afternoon, and we've got ourselves an absolutely textbook April day. But it's not April, it is February. But yeah, look at these temperatures. We have gusty south winds ahead of a boundary that'll start pushing through this afternoon in the evening hours. It'll switch those winds out of the northwest. They'll still be gusty, but the good news is while cooler air, yes, is on the way, our temperatures aren't going to plummet behind this boundary, so that it's not going to, freeze us, because we've had that happen. We have those winter boundaries where we get these unusually warm temperatures, and that cold front comes in, and the temperatures drop 30 or 40 degrees in a couple of hours. Not going to be the case tonight, though, but it will be chillier. Clouds will increase rather quickly, especially as we get after midnight tonight. Those northwest winds will then eventually translate and switch out of the northeast for us, and then we're back into the 30s and 40s tonight. So some of us about average, others were still technically above normal, and tomorrow we have increasing rain chances, and our temperatures much cooler, but still for many of us technically above normal for this time of year. As we go through our Tuesday, we're looking at mostly cloudy skies, gusty east winds, and we'll have an opportunity for a few stray showers here or there. Nothing too crazy is expected. And then we don't cool off too much from Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. Our temperatures kind of hold fairly steady back to the upper 40s for most of us, not everybody. This as we head into Wednesday, we're actually going to be a little warmer. See, we have this little system here. The winds will begin to shift out of the south. We have more rain chances on Wednesday, still scattered showers, so not rain everywhere all at once, but slightly better rain chances on Wednesday. And those south winds start bringing in even warmer air as we head through Wednesday afternoon. So another warm day as we head through, again, Wednesday. Today, take a look. Beautiful sunrise out there. Just a few clouds. Those will eventually go away. 58 is where we are in Joplin right now. Breeze is out of the south at 16. Out across the area, temperatures look like this. The majority of us still holding into the 50s. We do have some 40s. Iola Yates Center and Sedan is the cold spot at 41 and the Wada at 49. And then that warm spot, Grove, sitting at 60 already this morning. And that is going to be the way we head for our highs. Mid-50s to start. Clear skies, breezy. Be the mid-60s by 11 o'clock this morning. Highs today, upper 60s, low 70s, sunny. Those winds, again, eventually shifting on us. They'll still be gusty, though, at about 25 miles an hour. Clear skies through the evening. Temperatures gradually falling back and eventually around 40 for our lows tonight with mostly cloudy skies. And then all those rain chances tomorrow into Wednesday. And then Thursday, we're okay. We clear out a bit. By Friday, Saturday, a little warmer, more rain chances again. Then we see temperatures return to about normal for Sunday, and then they start to fall below normal as we roll into next week. And yeah, those are snow chances. Now, we're still several days away. There's 100 variables in play, as there always is with winter weather. But it does look to be a potential for some accumulating snow next week. Also looks like this may be the first of 2 or 3 snow events between next week and the end of this month. So a lot to keep an eye on. A lot of things will, of course, change over the next several days, but we'll certainly keep you updated on those potential snow chances. Let's check your forecast. We are back with more right after this.
Well, a man with the nonprofit Remember World War II is dedicated to share the stories from combat veterans throughout the world.
Desiree Fluellen takes us to meet him to learn more.
Eugene Metcalf is 102 years old, a World War II veteran who wants people to know his story and the history of the war.
Our drop was about 1:20 in the afternoon, and like I said, it took us about 2 hours to form up. There's over 1,000 planes, paratroops.
Eugene was a paratrooper at the age of 19 with the 82nd Airborne Division. During Mission Market Garden, he was left for dead. which is now the name of his book, recounting his story as a Nazi prisoner of war.
You think, well, this is where it ends. I'm not getting home.
He made it home, and now he's sharing his story with Rishi Sharma. Sharma started the nonprofit Remember World War II.
I'm on a mission to meet and film interview every single World War II combat veteran of the Allied countries, and I've been on the road for about 9 years doing this.
Sharma travels the world, from Canada to the UK to Australia and more, now having documented more than 2,600 World War II combat veteran stories.
I feel that it's a very sacred obligation on my part to make sure that they're not going to be forgotten.
That's why he's dedicated his life to living on the road, oftentimes living out of a rental car with a few clothes and his equipment.
There's nothing more gratifying than to be able to look in the eyes of someone who fought for your existence and to feel that you're doing something positive for them.
Sharma speaks with as many veterans in one location as possible, so if you know a veteran locally, he hopes to hear from you. He has no plans of stopping anytime soon.
I'm going to be interviewing World War II veterans until they're no longer here.
Certainly an incredible mission. And a
very
lot of stories
important.
that before too much longer, there won't
Right.
be anyone to tell, so
Yes.
it's important to document them now.
Absolutely.
Well, we've got another very spring-like day across the area for us, and then we're going to see a boundary push through later today. We'll show you on the future tracks. What happens is, ahead of that, we've got southerly winds that'll be gusting upwards of about 25. Then those winds will shift out of the northwest later this evening. Our temperatures don't plummet behind this boundary, but overnight, as clouds increase and those winds shift again, we're back into the 30s and 40s, so much cooler than where we have been. And that cool weather will translate into our Tuesday as well. We'll have some isolated to widely scattered showers throughout the day on Tuesday, and our temperature is much cooler, 40s and 50s, but for some of us, still above normal. More rain chances as we head into Wednesday, and temperatures start to warm up by Wednesday afternoon. Well, I've never looked at your forecast and the news you need to know right after this.
And here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Former Pitt State football player Nate Drelling has joined the University of Oklahoma football coaching staff. Drelling has been coaching for the past 10 years in a variety of positions, including interim head coach and defensive coordinator. Drelling will join Brent Venable's staff as the Sooners' inside linebackers coach. The Joplin Public Library hosted its Black History Fair over the weekend. This year's guest presenter was Kenya Ajanaku, a storyteller and drummer who specializes in the folklore of Africa. The library also set up tables and booths with reading recommendations and places to visit. This marks the 5th time that the Joplin Public Library has held a Black History Fair. And this week, for a second time, Representative Steve Bayshore is attempting to pass Laura and Ashley's Law. House Bill 1001 would require individuals convicted of accessory to murder to serve at least 85% of their sentence. Tonight on KOAM News at 10, Tanya Bach investigates Lorraine Bible's tragic connection to the Freeman family. Plus, we reveal the evidence that finally brought this cold case to the courtroom.
And we've got ourselves their textbook spring day, upper 60s, low 70s. Winds out of the south gusting to 25 and then switching behind the boundary later today. That will bring in cooler air overnight. Clear skies through the evening, mostly cloudy as clouds increase after midnight. Temperatures about 40. Then we'll have some rain chances tomorrow, a little cooler, low to mid 50s. Warm air returns Wednesday, more rain chances, a little cooler Thursday, more rain Friday and Saturday, warmer again, then back to normal Sunday, then below normal next week. And yeah, we are keeping our eye on some snow potential as we head into next week. Still several days away, lots going to change, but we'll keep you updated.
Alrighty. Well, huntsmen in Germany took part in a competition trying to sound like red deer. Now, using a specific tube-like device, voice and airflow, the men produced roars to resemble the wild animals.
Fabian Menzel, winner of this year's competition, says he only entered the competition because he can do it reasonably well, but the real purpose for him was to outwit the stag during hunting.
I mean, we have like pig calling here. Oh.
This sounds like a typical evening after eating food from a particular restaurant.
Oh, okay. On that note,
This is fantastic. I love it. Well, we'll see you back here tomorrow morning and again at noon.
Have a great rest of your morning.